my name is Mary Esther Malloy, and welcome to the Mindful Cesarean. If you are planning a birth by cesarean or preparing for a VBAC, we have some inspiring birth stories here for you. Please also visit themindfulcesarean.com, where you can download our toolkit for a healthy birth. And now let's listen to Jocelyn tell her story of a positive experience of a planned cesarean.
So to start, I should share my husband's a paramedic, and he has delivered a number of babies. So when I became pregnant, it was obvious to me that I wasn't going to have him completely deliver our child, but I thought he would be a very active participant, and it also made me feel very relaxed about everything. Like, no matter what happens, Eddie's got this, we'll be okay. And I also had a pretty easy pregnancy, not any real issues. And then early on, I would say around maybe 32 weeks, they said the baby was breech. But at the time, even my OB was very casual about it. She was like, I'm sure he's going to turn. There was no history in my family. I didn't really have any of like the markers that they look for. And I do a lot of yoga. And she was like, keep doing yoga, keep doing all these upside down poses. It's the best thing to do. So I kept doing yoga. And then somewhere around like 35, 36 weeks, he's still breech. And now I know where he is. He was what they call perfect breech, like in a cannonball, I think. And I could feel his head. Like, I knew exactly where his head was. So I knew he wasn't turning because I could feel him every day. And at this point, I'm doing headstands every day. And I still was feeling pretty relaxed about it. Like, he's going to turn. Everyone's telling me he's going to turn. And then I went for my 37-week checkup. And while I was at the doctor's office, his heartbeat was erratic. And I went to the hospital that day. They sent me straight to the hospital because they thought, I didn't understand at the time. I thought I was going for monitoring. My husband knew, the doctor knew, everyone knew except for me that I may be having a C-section like that day. And so we get there and they're explaining this to me, and I'm kind of starting to get a little like scared and everything, but he actually wound up calming down. The week before that, I had had another ultrasound, and that doctor had spoken to me about having a version. And he said, well, there's a 50% chance of it working, but your fluid's already low, so the chance could be lower for you. I don't know if you're a good candidate. So at that point, we were kind of debating trying a version. And I think I just felt like it was too forced. It felt like this should be something that should be happening naturally. And I spoke to my doctor about it, my OB, who I like a lot. And she said that I should really go with my feeling. And that if I felt like it was too much, perhaps it was too much, there could be something else going on that we weren't seeing. And she said, if you do decide to have a version, go to the hospital prepared to have a C-section. Because if it doesn't work, you will probably have a C-section. And I know statistically it says the chances are lower. She was not convinced by the statistics. So I opted not to do a version. At 38 weeks, the same thing again, baby's heart beats erratic. We go to the hospital, it goes back to normal again, everything's okay, I go home. So exactly at 39 weeks, which is what I was trying to get to, I had a scheduled C-section. Prior to this, I have never been in the hospital. I'd never had an IV until I'd gone to the hospital the 2 weeks before. I've never broken a bone, I've never had surgery, I've never had stitches, which I realize sounds crazy, but it was true. And I was so scared of this C-section, I was terrified. And a couple days before, my doctor had walked me through kind of what was going to happen. And we followed this like plan that she put together. And it was all of these things that I didn't realize that were special. Like she actually had me walk into the OR. I wasn't wheeled in, which now I realize, of course, usually be wheeled in. She told me she had me walk in because with her, because she felt like it would seem less scary that way. I would be breathing. Maybe there would be less of a chance I was going to faint when we went in. She held my hands while I had a local anesthesia. I didn't have an epidural because it was all very scheduled. So she was holding my hands while they were doing that. In fact, she was holding my hands while they were setting up the whole thing, speaking to me. They offered to let my husband watch the procedure. I didn't want him to watch because I wanted him next to me. But he did go around to watch when they actually took the baby out. I got to see the baby before he was cleaned. Then they weighed him and things, and my husband brought him over to me, and we got to have skin to skin. I got to keep him in recovery. I was nursing him in recovery. So what started off as something I was really scared of and was like very much the opposite of this kind of like childbirth where I labored at home until the last possible minute with my husband by my side, and then we went to the hospital. Wound up being a really nice experience. It felt like it was very much like focused on me and on him. And although it was very surgical and it was very clinical, it still felt special. And because of that, I think it was a positive experience in the end.
Thank you for listening to this mindful cesarean birth story. For more articles, resources, and to download the Toolkit for a Healthy Birth, please visit themindfulcesarean.com. Again, thank you for watching. I'm Mary Esther Malloy.